if you have an all-in-one computer like this one, and you start hearing noises like this, I can show you exactly what it is and how to fix it. This is the Dell Inspiron 2350. First, shut it down. There, it's shut down. You heard it turn completely off. Now I have this on my bench. This has been a really good computer. I bought it in 2014, and so it's 14 years old now, going on 15 I suppose. And it's really nice. It's got a touchscreen on it, which I never used, but it's been a really good computer and monitor. It's got a really great picture. It's got a full HD monitor to it, and it folds down. It's got your USBs on the side and all of your other hookups, HDMI's in the back. But I'm going to show you what's wrong with this. If yours starts making that noise, I'm going to show you exactly what's wrong with it. So I'm going to just fold this down for now and get something underneath it and flip it over. Now I have it flipped over on its face, and I have a nice thick towel here. And I'm just going to bring this back here. I'm going to have to light this too so you can see it, or maybe put a little bit more light on it. And I'm going to pop this back cover off of here, and I'll show you exactly what the problem is. On each corner is a screw. There's 4 there, and there's 3 here for your mount. For your other mount, get a screwdriver for that one. That one needed a bigger screwdriver. These are 3 bigger screws. It holds the bottom in. There's 2 and there's 3. Number 3. Make sure you take out any USBs you might have in for your mice or your mouse or your Wi-Fi. Take those out. And there is one more right here in the middle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You don't have to worry about this guy right now. But here's the trick. It's kind of weird getting this off of here. Really kind of, you have to be patient getting this off of here. There we go. Pops right off. That is the bottom. It's a pretty heavy piece here. It's pretty heavy. So, and you could see where it was heating up here. There's a heat bar. So this computer was heating up, and this guy right here, that's the culprit right there. There's a fan. So this fan is making all kinds of noise. So once it gets old enough, then start to have some issues. But let me get more light on this. This fan right here. So I had this off before, and the fan was all clogged up with dirt. So I blew it out. So what I did was I put some Kapton tape on here after I blew everything out. There's a little radiator here, and the fan sucks air in through here, and it cools this rod right here. But this is so simple to do. Let's get a small screwdriver. There's 2 screws. There's one here, and there's one up here. got my hands in the way. 2 screws, and this plugs into the board right here. I gotta get that off of there. That one came out. And this guy comes out of here. Oh, there it is. Plugs right in, and that comes right out of there. So what I did was I blew all the dirt out of the inside of the fan here, and it helped it a little bit, but the bearings are shot in this old fan. And here's like a little radiator which cools this rod, and it keeps everything cool here. But obviously you can see that this really got hot from the bottom here. You can see where the rod was and how warm it got. That's not dirt, that's heat. So it got a little bit toasty in there. Luckily it didn't burn up. So the fan started really making a lot of racket. So I went searching for fans, and I got the number off of here, and of course the model of the computer, and I got a brand new fan. Now most of these are located in China. You have to order them out of China, but I'll give you a eBay seller right out of Philadelphia, and I got this in just a couple of days. Instead of the slow boat from China, I got it in a few days because they have these in stock in Philadelphia, which is very cool. Okay, and you gotta figure this one is slightly smaller over here and slightly more narrow, but it fits up in there, and they give you new screws, and these are longer if you notice, and these other guys are really small, really short. So I'm gonna use the longer screws. This is the replacement fan. It just fits just a little bit differently. So they gave longer screws because the tabs are on the top on this one, and these are kind of set in the center a little bit. So they gave longer screws to put it in. Now up here, it's open like it was on this one, and they had some tape on here. So it'll close this gap and seal this top here. So I have some Kapton tape, and as you can see, I tucked the wires in. This wire is much longer than this one. Much longer, and they twisted this one up. I don't want to twist it. So I tucked the wires in here so they don't get tangled anywhere. So I'm going to use the Kapton tape. This is fireproof tape, and it's excellent stuff just for this. So I'm going to put one of these halfway onto the fan, and onto the cooling bar that goes over here and cools, because this has to stay cool. This is like a little radiator here where the air flows through from the back. It flows through, cools this copper bar, and it cools the critical parts over here. And there's an airflow through the rest of it also. So I just tuck this over a little bit, bring that down. I'm going to put a little piece over here on the side, and then I'm going to put a little piece of tape right here also. A little piece of Kapton tape right here to hold those goodies in there. I'll keep those wires from coming out. Again, this Kapton tape, it's flame proof, and it's very good for electronics. It's kind of expensive, but you could find out. But you could find it. It's called Kapton tape, K-A-P-T-O-N, and it's perfect for electronic use. Now up over here there's a little opening, so I'm going to put a piece of Kapton right up in there and seal that up. Now that's all sealed, and that will stay there. It won't come off. They had a black piece of tape here, but it just kind of disintegrated and fell right off, so before I opened it up before, and I took it off. I just cleaned it all up. Blow all of this out here. On the top here is your back vent, and again, this is like a little radiator. Blow all of this out of here because there was tons and tons of garbage in there. So this is your airflow chamber, little radiator kind of gig, and the fan hooks up to it. So it's critical that all of the dirt is out of here. So get yourself a air compressor or compressed air like I did here, and blow it out real good when the fan's out. I already blew it out when the fan was out. So, but anyway, that is just about it. And by the way, you could do this with just about any computer, even a laptop. If your laptop was making that kind of noise, 9 times out of 10, 9.99 times out of 10, it's going to be the fan, because that fan is working hard to keep all of these electronics cool in here. And it's critical that your laptop stays cool. Otherwise, it's going to burn up like mine almost burned up. You can see it got warm in there, but it still works good. Now, if I would have left that old fan in there, it would have eventually stopped working and everything would have overheated. And that would have been pretty tragic, especially, you know, if I left it on, left the house, and who knows what would have happened. So let's button it up. This is always tricky. The best way that I found was where your components plug in, your HDMI and your power and everything on the back. Slide that in first, so that captures your windows there, and then kind of feel your way around with it, and it will snap in. And it is kind of weird, trust me. You got to play with it. There's that side. There's that side. And there it is. I'll be darned. I think I wore it in a little bit. Snapped in just peachy. Use the completion backward principle. Go back until you hear it snap. That's what I call the completion backward principle. With screws, find your threads. Then, of course, you have your outer ones. And your one in the middle. So again, this is the Inspiron by Dell. 2350, and it's been a really good computer. Again, I bought it in 2014, brand new, and it was about $1,000, and it's been a really, really good computer for me. I also use it as a monitor for video too. So you can plug in your HDMI in the back from your editing computer, and you have a great monitor. A really good monitor. Another air vent here right where the fan is. Vent here and a vent here. So I believe it pulls air in from here or here, and it circulates through the fan, one way or the other. So I plug my system in, and I'm doing a pre-boot assessment, and there's a way to get in there through F12, and you can see here that the CPU fan checks out fine. And up on top here, CPU fan, and the current RPM is 2803. The high is 3401, and the low is 1796. So actually it's perfect. It is operating perfectly because I just plug it in, and of course the unit is cooler. And when it gets warmer, it'll get up to the higher RPMs. But so far, everything is checking out. And if you go in the back here, it's nice and quiet. I got the microphone right up against it. Nice and smooth and quiet, like it's supposed to be. So there you have it.